The LG Procast, the podcast, is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views or opinions expressed by the podcast hosts and guests do not necessarily reflect the official position of LG. For the latest and most accurate information about LG products, please consult relevant product manuals and related documentation. The information provided in this podcast episode is for informational purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, we make no representation or warranties of any kind, express or implied, about the completeness, accuracy, reliability, or suitability of the information for any specific application in the following discussion. LG and those posting or otherwise providing information, content, or material are not responsible or liable for any consequences relating directly or indirectly to any action or inaction you take based on the information, content, or other material on the podcast.
Hey, welcome to the LG Procast. Terry Frisenda here with co-host Phillip Kriegbaum. Who we got with us today, Phillip?
Hey, Terry. We've got Tersh, Blissett, and Josh Crouch from Trade Automation Pros, guys.
Oh, you did so much better than Tersh does on the intros of our show.
No, I can't even say our names.
Welcome in.
Glad I got it right.
Thanks. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, obviously having you guys on here with your presence is a big move forward for our little podcast show. So we're excited to have you and excited to let the little audience that we know about what you guys do. So help us better understand what you guys are doing out there to help our trades.
We appreciate it. We have 6 companies. I'll go through them real fast. Trade Automation Pros, Skill Trade Syndicate, Service Business Mastery, Phone Tap, Tap Recon, and Automation Foundation.
Wow, underachievers.
Yeah. And then we have our own separate companies as well.
You know the beauty of
Awesome.
knowing how to automate and or delegate tasks? You can either decide to go continue to grow your business or find other things to spend your time on. So that's what we've done.
Most of our audience are HVAC tradesmen, business owners, things like that. So talk about what you guys do in that world. How do you educate? How do you train? How do you assist? What do you guys do specifically for a guy like that?
So he mentioned all those companies, but Tersh actually owns, his primary business he owns 2 HVAC plumbing and electrical companies in Savannah, Georgia. I was in the trades for 9 years at 3 different residential HVAC companies. So I know the trades very well. And then, so I started Relentless Digital. I got really good at the digital marketing side of things. So everything that we do is for the trades. Literally every single one of those companies, we don't specialize anywhere else but the trades.
People will ask us all the time, like, I was explaining it to my ENT doctor, ear, nose, whatever.
Ear, nose,
throat?
Yeah, that person.
My son's a surgeon, so I kind of know that kind of stuff.
Right. And I was telling him about like phone tap and other things, and he was like, "Man, can you make that work for my office so that they can analyze my phone calls?" And I'm like, no, because that's a rabbit hole. Like, I'm sure we can make it work, but we're both guilty of saying, yeah, we can do that. And then we're like, after the fact, why did I say yes? So,
Fully understand.
We purposely stay in the trades and we educate. Like, our main focus is on educating contractors on how to basically buy back your time by using automations and AI.
So you mentioned Phone Tap.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us what that is?
Okay, so Phone Tap is an AI phone call analysis tool, and it analyzes the phone calls that are coming in through the CSRs. Think of it like LACE, but for small contractors, whereas LACE is going to be for your larger contractors. We don't have all the features that LACE has, but if you understand what LACE is, it's kind of a similar concept.
So
there.
For the guys who don't understand what LACE is.
So
I can explain. This actually came about because my team at Relentless Digital, we analyze calls through humans, and we've been doing it for 4 or 5 years that way. And there's such
time consuming.
It's time consuming, labor consuming, our data is always 5 to 7 days behind, because especially like demand season, when the demand peaks up, we can't keep up with it. It's too hard. So we catch up 5 to 7 days later. And then by that point, the data is not really actionable for the contractor. If they had a qualified lead that was not booked, there's nothing we can do with that now. It's 7 days too late. So we wanted to build workflows and automation into the platform, so that way if that happens, that can be escalated to a call center manager, a business owner, general manager, whoever it is in their business, instantly, to try to save that call. And so the goal is to just reduce the waste in contract.
A lot of times his clients with Relentless Digital, they would reach out to him and say, hey, I need more leads. I need more leads. I need more leads. And the more he analyzed their phone calls with a human, the more there was a realization that, no, you don't need more leads. You need to convert the leads that are coming in. And instead of him telling them via an email now, like, hey, last month you didn't convert, you converted 30% of your calls that came in that should have been booked. Now there's another app, a third-party program that's saying, hey, your booking percentage is not 90% like you have marked inside of Service Titan. It's actually 30% or whatever. It might be 20% less than what you have marked inside of your CRM, and that is using AI. There's no emotion involved, because there's some bias there sometimes. You may like it, and you don't have a choice. Like, as humans, we have bias naturally. And so I was explaining earlier in our breakout session, we were talking about if you even have a CSR manager that is listening to the phone calls and then marking the phone calls, if that CSR manager has a bias that's positive towards you, and there's a call that's on the fence, like, was it bookable? Maybe, maybe not. They're going to lean towards, no, it wasn't bookable. So then your percentages are better. If they don't like that person, they're going to lean towards, that was more bookable. And so there's going to be a natural, even if you're trying to be unbiased, there's a natural bias as a human being.
It's almost impossible not
It's
to.
almost, nearly impossible. Well, AI, there is no bias. It's either yes or no. And so there's no argument there of like, okay, this is right or wrong. And then there's coaching involved after the fact. Like, hey.
Yeah, almost like instant analysis of the call, like what you did well, what you can do better, how you can say something better. Because the call centers in the trades they just don't get.
So is it real time? Like, you hang up the phone and seconds later you've got
within a couple minutes.
Within a minute or so.
Yeah, it's real quick.
And say, like, we had one call that we were analyzing, we were listening in on, and the CSR was like, sorry, we're booked out for 2 weeks. We're booked out for 2 weeks, and they're come to find out they were booked out on maintenance calls. Well, the call that came in, the guy had a 15-year-old system, and the main breaker was tripping. Like, we know what that is.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you like move some maintenances out the way to get this? And so being able to analyze that instantly, escalate it to a CSR manager or owner of the company, or
someone that understands like exactly what that problem is, and be like,
sorry,
that's powerful.
my bad.
Yeah,
let's go out here.
Well, yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry, I actually can move something for you.
Exactly.
So something opened up, you can come up with
whatever
some way to do it. But
valuable.
Well, there's so much money dumped into marketing.
And that's it. They kept coming to Josh saying, hey, I need more leads. I need more leads. I need more leads. I'm like, nah, you don't need more leads. You need to convert the leads you got.
It's crazy when the light bulb goes off to them. It's like, oh, I can do a lot more. And on top of that, like, even with some of the automation and AI stuff, missed call text backs, web form submission comes in, you can immediately text that person. Estimate follow-ups automatically, because we all know everyone in the trades probably follows up with all their estimates 5 to 7 to 8 times. Yeah, I'm going to go back 3 months and go, oh, did you ever do anything with that system? Instead of nurturing them along the way, all that stuff can be done with automation, and AI makes those workflows so much more powerful. Yeah. And that's really what we do with Trade Automation Pros, is we take the tech stack that contractors have, whatever that looks like. Now, some tech stack we can't work with, but most have APIs or essentially endpoints in your system we can grab data or push data to, and we can make it work. So that way we make the tech stack, instead of it being segmented, we can put it together so it's all working together and data's passing through these different systems.
A lot of times we'll go in and look at some tech stacks, and they have three different products that all do the same thing. and they're paying for all
They just
three of
they're,
them.
they're like wanted one feature from this one from that one, and then like we
We can do all of this.
condense and
one of them.
consolidate. And well, and one of the workflows that this is literally the first one we share in our breakout every time, because it's very simple from what we know how to do, but it's very powerful. Is new Google review comes in, then we can turn that into a social media post, an email, a blog,
Newsletter,
a Google Business Profile post, like literally 8 or 10 different pieces of marketing material
off of
from one thing.
And it instantly responds to the review as well.
So now they can go do more higher level activities, revenue producing activities, happy calls with customers, things that are really going to enhance the customer experience and not have to do these things.
You know, we were talking a little bit ago. I mean, Hardy just came out with some of their numbers, and for the residential
It's down like
HVAC,
20,
it's not great.
Yeah.
That's when businesses either make it or break it, is when
right.
things get hard. The good guys get better, and they'll come out of a slow time even stronger. But if they don't, you know, unfortunately, some of them don't make it through.
You made a comment, there's platforms that deal with a large, sophisticated contractor. But if I heard you correctly, I mean, you got a product that's focused at, a smaller contractor or a contractor that, not that it can't be used in a large,
Sure.
but, and I think about, okay, let me look at HVAC across the country, and it's comprised of a bunch of small
I would
businesses.
say 80 to 90% of contracts are 5 million or less.
Small
I mean, the big ones, the ones that are over 5 million, most of them have been bought out already,
Right.
or they're just got over that threshold the last year or two.
Right. So that's an interesting market piece for you.
Yeah.
To go,
Well,
"Okay, let's help these folks.
And the reason is we don't have investors.
Yeah.
We're our own investors in it.
It doesn't look
like-
good if you look at it from an investor's point of view, because they want to see like the highest monthly revenue, like your highest MRR, and our target audience is going to be a lot smaller companies on purpose. We feel like that's who need us, and
I agree.
that's
That's
why
what's
we're
driving that
reaching out,
comment for me.
yeah.
Is I agree. I think these folks that are out working hard, that are turning these wrenches and can use some help to continue to make jobs for people in their communities, continue to support their families, and continue to do things that built our country, which is work hard and, and be honest.
We had a conversation this morning with a couple. It's him and her, and that's it in the company. And I'm guilty of this. When I released my entire team to new opportunities, and I got in the truck for a little bit. This has been a while back, and following processes and procedures as the guy with like maybe have 2 other people, one other person, but I'm in the truck and I'm doing all the processes that I wanted everybody else to follow. I still must follow those processes, because once I hire more people, they're going to go back and say, hey, you went on this call about 8 months ago and there's no notes in here. Your phone call that wasn't recorded, and because they called on your cell phone, not through the call center like they're supposed to. And so that's our goal, is to help at a smaller company start with the proper processes and procedures, so that as they scale and grow, the processes are already there and they're simple because they've been doing it for so long,
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have talked to contractors. They get to a certain size, then they end up downsizing. Like, it wasn't for me. Yeah, they don't want to deal with it because it's scaling is
processes and
having 3 or 4 or 5 people doing the same job, having to do it the same way. They don't have a process. They're all 3 people are doing it their own way, their own twist on it, versus following exactly what the process.
Or the owner's doing all the work himself. I mean, you said a big word, I think, before we even started recording, was delegation. And how does that play into what you guys do?
That is the core basis. It's optimize, automate, delegate. So you
In that order.
and you must do it in that order. Okay, you want to process, you want to automate this process. First, number one, you must optimize the process first. And one of the ways for us, like, we're really big on processes and procedures and like SOPs. And that is the most monotonous thing in the world sometimes. But we've written, are you familiar with a custom GPT? So Chat GPT, you can build out custom GPTs that are very targeted. So we built out a custom GPT for SOPs for the home service industry. And literally you can say, write me an SOP for anything, van washing, every week. It'll ask you a couple of questions, and then it creates the full SOP, and it's the exact same format every single time. And then we can take and upload the entire handbook into a custom GPT. And so then your text can ask, that's what we've done. But whenever you're doing a process, like there's tons of ways to do this, but there's tons of different tools you can use. But essentially what you need to do is write out the entire process and then hand it to someone who's never done that process before and see where they get stuck. They will get stuck every single time, because it'll be something as simple as, you said to click on this website, but you never said the domain name. Because you and I, like, we go to the domain, we know, like, all right, so if you're going to sign into Service Titan, it's go.servicetitan.com. Like, we know the domain. Well, that person's never signed into Service Titan, so they didn't know how to get to it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So once you figured out where it breaks, then you fix it moving forward, and then you give it to somebody else. And so you repeat this process, 3, 4, 5, 6 times until you can go through the entire process without that person getting stuck. Then you have an optimized process. And then once that process is optimized, then you're going to figure out, hey, can we automate this process? And if we can't automate it, let's work on delegating it, whether it's delegating it to a VA, a virtual assistant, an executive assistant, someone overseas, maybe it's someone domestic, someone in your office, because the owner does not need to be doing Excel spreadsheets. It's not something that the owner is a visionary, and they need to be thinking about the future, not about payroll Excel spreadsheets.
It's not a value add.
Exactly. And so, let's optimize that process, and let's automate it if possible. And if we can't, let's delegate it.
Well, because these business owners, they get in their business, they grow it, and they start to hate it.
Yeah. All the
They don't
monotonous
love it
work.
anymore. They're stuck in an office. They're doing things, moving papers around, copying and pasting stuff. And this is not what I signed. I wanted to grow a business so it'd feed my family and other families. And
And a lot of times we get asked, what can we optimize, or what can we automate, and or what can we delegate? And Josh, you want to tell them?
yeah, I mean, the conversation usually goes, first of all, we post about something. We have 3 or 4 free Facebook groups where we post templates all the time, and people can comment, and then we send it to them. And we ask, they actually, I need this. I want all of it. It's like, all of what? But then we ask, well, what do you want to automate? Well, I don't know. What can I automate? It's just like this yo-yo game. So that's why we started doing we have a DIY, which is it's in a school community. So it's a course in a community of like-minded people that want to learn how to optimize or want to learn the process. And then they also want to decide how to automate and how to use workflows and triggers and actions and things like that. And it starts very elementary, gets harder. We have CRM specific ones. So you have Service Titan, House Call Pro, Sarah, Jobber, because those are big trigger events. Like, when this thing happens, I want this thing to happen over here. Like, when a job an install gets sold, I want to be able to create a checklist for my team to go file the warranty, permit, et cetera, order the equipment, et cetera, et cetera.
Trello.
The job scheduled. There's just so many different things you can do. But in order for us to really dig into it, we have to have a conversation. Like, what are your big pain points? What are you doing more than 2 or 3 times a week?
Yeah.
So that way we can decide, okay, now we can decide, well, do you have a process for that? Yes. Okay, cool. Now we can decide. That's where I was talking to someone in the breakout today who was with a distribution company, 23 locations. He was asking about building a custom GPT. I'm like, well, what information do you have for your sales staff to be able to build this custom GPT? And he kind of gave us, I'm like, okay, we can work with that.
Yeah, that's easy.
But there's just so many things these tools can do. With Lace and Phone Tap and some of the tools we mentioned, I think self-coaching is going to become a really big thing.
Yeah.
And I have one salesperson at Relentless, and there are some things that my wife would watch the calls and revisit them. And some of the stuff she wasn't quite doing the things the way we want her to do them, or saying the right things, or things that she should have been putting in place to make sure we work with great clients. So I built a custom GPT for her to take her transcriptions of every call, put them into this, and it scores her. And it gives her that advice, what you did well, what you could do differently, how you could say this differently. And she went, her first couple scores when she was throwing was 55, 60%. Mm-hmm. Literally within literally it's like 7 to 10 days when I just gave it to her. Every day she's, oh, I got a 90%. I got a 95%.
AI is a tool that can be used to improve the way you do your business and you do your daily task. And that's a perfect example of she took it, listened to it, implemented the things that the AI chatbot said to do. The biggest thing that I think that he hit on this point, but I want to reiterate it, is the fact that you don't want to automate a process that you do once a month, but any task that you do 3 or more times in 1 week. If you do it every single week, you do it 3 or more times, let's optimize it, then automate it. And if we can't automate it, let's delegate it.
And most likely, if you're doing it that many times, it's already optimized. You know what to do, how to do it.
is.
You may not have it written down.
Yes.
The other thing that in Tersh likes using the process where he hands it off to other people.
Yes.
When I started Relentless Digital, because our company's all remote, I used Loom for everything. I literally would go through setting up, even from the simple thing of setting up a keyword tracking tool of how to do it, what to log in, and I just did it on Loom.
I'll ask Josh a question. He's like, "Here's a Loom on it." And for those who don't know what Loom is, it's
screen sharing
recording.
Yeah, screen recording, screen sharing thing where you can store it, and then there are tools now that you can literally take it and make that up. It can literally figure out the process for you and write it out for you. But then you give it to the team, and you can also kind of talk through what you're thinking. So it's not just like click this. They don't know why they're clicking it. Click this because we need to know this, and so on and so forth. But there's just a couple easy ways to just start recording things, just start getting it to your team. Even if you don't have a team, just have this stuff in like a library right now, even if you don't do anything with it.
And you probably see how we nerd out on things. Like this is just a little bit of scratching the surface of the things. Like we figure out, like, oh, that's a rabbit hole we can dive in.
We could sit here for 10 hours probably and explore stuff.
So I'm over here thinking about my career path, thinking, okay, so that whiteboard I had with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
We literally just put that whiteboard in the cloud and automated it.
Scheduled, and it's a change out.
That's crazy how last time that curve of the technology that we talked about on our show with you guys is just it's wild to see where it's finding it. And then today's the worst it's ever going to be.
Where do they start? What is step one? Contact you, go to your website. Like what does step one even look like for that?
Yeah, if he's working that much, he probably doesn't want to DIY it.
Yeah, that's what I was
probably want some help.
Yeah.
So we have accelerator courses that are 6 weeks where we can do it with someone and they can have up to 2 other members of their company with the owner.
Back to my question, contractor wanting to start off,
Yeah.
not wanting to DIY it.
Just the website.
Where do they go?
TradeAutomationPros.com.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it.
I guess that's a simple answer to my question.
Yeah.
The good news and the bad news about having our own podcast is we can kind of roundabout way talk into a whole bunch of different things and not actually answer a question.
So we didn't mention your podcast.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that you guys get that out there. So what's the name of your podcast?
Service Business Mastery.
All right. So look it up, listen to it after this one.
Podcast of the year.
Procast.
Podcast of the year 2020.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
We appreciate you guys coming. I mean, it's a privilege to have you on to pick your brain. I think our contractors have definitely, I think it'd be beneficial to a lot of them to.
We are
start
happy
looking
to help.
into
Yeah.
what you guys offer, and appreciate you sharing your knowledge.
You don't have to think that you have to pay us to get information from us. We are a wealth of knowledge and a lot of useless knowledge. But it's like we're guides. Think of us as a guide for your business.
Well, the Elevate 25 program here for LG Electronics for this show this week that you're attending and this podcast is being filmed from, we're asking a lot of the HVAC contractors that are in that room there. We're asking them to commit to a brand. We're asking them to, stand up and fight with us as a single entity and not a partnership with some other legacy brand in the country. We're asking them to get out of their comfort zone.
Sure.
And I fully, like I said to them on stage earlier, I fully expect them to be able to reap the rewards of the hard work that is going into what we're trying to get accomplished as a manufacturer in this country. So
honestly, we appreciate being invited and being a part of this.
That's been great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, guys, again, appreciate it. We're kind of wrapping up. We're out of time. But guys, thanks for joining us, and hopefully you'll tune in for the next episode of the LG Procast. Bye-bye.
Until then, see you.